What's up, Edmonton? It's Ryan here with Hauer Power Electrical, and here today we want to talk to you guys about panels without room, whether you want to have a sub panel or a service upgrade. What's going to be the better option for you? If you have any questions, concerns, or comments about this even after the video, give us a call, 780-935-0622. But other than that, we'll dive right in here and give you as much information as we possibly can and help you make the right decision. Again, it's Ryan with Hauer Power Electrical. Here we go. So we're going to go through the service upgrade advantages and the sub panel advantages, the disadvantages of both, and then after that we'll see if you really need a sub panel or a service upgrade, or if someone was just trying to sell you something that you didn't really need in the first place. At the whole end of the day, our whole mission is powering customer service, and even if you don't hire us, we still want you to have a good time here. That's the whole point. We make these videos so we can bring customer service back to the trades, and we got into this business so that if we can show a little professionalism, we can blow it out of the park. And that's the whole goal here. So service upgrade advantages. Whether you have a 60 amp to 100 amp service upgrade, 100 amp to 100 amp service upgrade, or 100 amp to a 200 amp service upgrade, they're all going to have a little bit of different advantages, and at the end of the day, the disadvantage really would just be the price of it and the time of the electricians spent in your home there. If you really value your privacy, that is important. More panel room would be the number one advantage of a new panel. More panel room meaning that if you have a full panel, whether it's a Federal Pacific panel, Federal Pioneer panel, Commander, Sylvania, Bulldog, Pushmatic, it doesn't matter what kind of panel you have. If it's full, you need more room. That's where it comes into play of whether you want to get a sub panel installed or a full service upgrade with a new panel. You can't just do a panel swap. That existing panel isn't going to comply with current codes, especially if it's a federal panel, just because of the age. The code changes every 3 years. So if your house was built in the 50s, 60s, 70s, service code has changed since then, and we can't just change out that panel legally. We'd have to change out the service as a whole. It's called a service upgrade, and that's why we have to change out panel, meter, service, and mast, or underground if that's the case as well. But anyways, more panel room. That's the number one advantage of a brand new panel. It's going to be a bigger panel. You're going to have more spaces for more circuits, and then you can do with it as you please. One panel is the other advantage of a service upgrade over a sub panel. Sub panel, you're going to have, sub panel. You're going to have more panels, more different brands, more different breakers, more different spots. So when you trip a circuit, if you're not super familiar with your own system, you're going to be going to each panel wondering where that circuit was tripped. But the advantage of a service upgrade is you're going to have it all at one panel. So we reroute the circuits from the other panels, pull new wire to the new panel, and then feed it from there. That way you have one panel, it's nice and clean, and it's simple, and that's the whole purpose of why you probably wanted to work in the first place. So it's clean and simple and safe. The other part is of a service upgrade, your grounding will be upgraded. So to comply with current electrical codes, we're going to have to upgrade your grounding. Not just your bonding, but a little bit of that too, but your main system ground, if it's a existing copper water meter, perfect. Then we can run a number 6 copper continuous from your panel to that water meter. If it's currently number 8, that's too small, it won't do. If it's currently non-continuous or it's just bonded across your water meter, that's not okay, that won't do. So the grounding will be brought up to code. In addition, at your furnace, your gas line and water lines, those are going to be bonded too, so that if you were to ever have any sort of electrical contact with a plumbing pipe, it's not just going to liven up all your plumbing fixtures and give someone a shock without tripping the breaker. It's going to have that grounding difference back to earth. That's going to signal your overcurrent device to trip. And that's the whole point of the grounding system, and that's the whole objective here, is to make your system safe. So the safest way to do it would be to have a service upgrade, get your panel right, get it up to code, get your grounding up to code, your bonding in your home, get your breakers safe, clean. Makes it simple, but at the end of the day, it does cost money. So we also offer financing if budget's pretty tight and it doesn't allow for it, but you need it. The first step is knowing that you need it. Then you give us a call, and then the final step is we get a 5-star review from you after you're a satisfied customer. But we'll get more into that later once you hire us. You can see what we're all about. As far as the other option of a 200 amp service upgrade, that would be the only other option, only other advantage right now that I can really see that stares you in the face for a service upgrade. is you may have the option to upgrade to 200 amp depending on the transformer size and availability there from EPCOR. So if EPCOR, Fortis, whoever your utility may be, if they say, yeah, you can have a 200 amp service upgrade, perfect, then we can go ahead with that. Otherwise, all we can do on our end is make everything rated for 200 amp and slap in a 100 amp breaker for you. And then in the future, once they want to upgrade the transformer, or if you want to upgrade it with them, then that's between homeowner and utility provider. We can't touch that, but that's where that all comes through. Disadvantage to a service upgrade, again, is going to be the cost of it. It's one of the biggest investments you can do for your home. It's one of the safest things you can do for your electrical system in your home. Highly advise it if your home's built in the 60s and the panel's never been touched. Definitely might be something to look into. If it's between that or a new roof, you know, it's pretty tight. It's one of the safest things you can do for your electrical system, especially with those old federal breakers. Ask any electrician you know about a federal breaker, and you'll probably want to get that changed out pretty quick. As far as the other disadvantage, it'd be, yeah, again, our electrician's time in your home. Depending on the size of the service upgrade, typically it'd be in and out in one day. It'd be a full day without power. Otherwise, we'd be in and out in about 2 or 3 days, depending on how much rerouting we have to do. But you'd still be only out of power with 1 day when you hire us. That's how we're going to do it for you. 1 day without power, that's long enough. Getting to the sub panels then. Sub panel advantages. The main advantage of a sub panel is going to be downtime as well as the cost. It's going to be cheaper. It's going to give you more space. It's going to give you more breaker availability in the new panel, as long as we give you a panel that's large enough, which if any electrical contractor is giving you quotes, make sure that they're quoting on the same size panel. If they're going to give you a smaller panel, yeah, they're going to be less expensive, but then you're going to be needing another sub panel in another couple of years when you do your kitchen renovation, when you get air conditioning, when you go to get any other device or circuits added to your home, when you finish your basement, anything like that. Make sure they give you a good size sub panel so that you're not getting 2 or more, or get a sub panel and then you need a service upgrade. That'd be a pain, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's the main advantages of a sub panel. So the advantage, it's going to be less costly, it's going to be a fraction of the price, and it's going to be faster, right? Probably take the guys 4 or 5 hours maybe, and your power is going to be down for about 20 minutes, even if they even have to knock the power down. And that would only be for tying in at the main panel there, just to avoid shock and do the work safely. But yeah, that would be the main advantages to your sub panel. Disadvantage would just be the fact that, yeah, you're going to have multiple panels. The more things that are involved in a system, the more things that can go wrong. That's true with anything, whether it's cars, whether it's electrical panels. If you have 14 different electrical panels, you're going to have to do more maintenance on them, right? There's more things that can go wrong. So even if you only have 2, right? 2 is more than 1. I always advise a service upgrade first, but the sub panel is usually an option. You can also have probably different panel brands. So if you have a federal main panel and then you're adding in a sub panel after that, whether it's Siemens panel, Eaton panel, Square D panel, doesn't matter. You're going to have a different brand than that original panel. Pretty typical for that. The other option there too is the service upgrade. To get that permitted and inspected and to pass legally, we have to upgrade everything to the current Canadian Electrical Code, which again changes every 3 years. So your grounding is going to be out of date if your home was built in the 50s, 60s, 70s. Your grounding is going to be out of date. Your meter box is going to be out of date. Your bonding is going to be out of date. So, I mean, I'd say chances are pretty good. 9 times out of 10, what we see is the grounding needs to be upgraded. So if you're doing a sub panel install, that's not included in that price. So you're not getting an updated grounding. You can't change out that meter enclosure without upgrading your service unless it's an emergency. But that's another thing there too. So you're not going to have an insulated neutral at your meter box. So as far as safety goes, service upgrade, number 1 choice. As far as cost goes and time, sub panel, yeah, number 2 choice. A little bit more of a band-aid fix, but it might get you by if you just need a few circuits. And then as far as the breaker availability goes, if you have a main panel and that main panel is Commander, Sylvania, Federal, it might be a little bit tricky for an electrical contractor to find a breaker for that panel to feed your sub panel now. So we can reroute some circuits and do a couple tricks, but still need a breaker to feed that sub panel. And sometimes those are hard to find, especially during the COVID times. But rest assured, we'll get you what you want. At the end of the day, we'll find a way. But that's another disadvantage, as well as rerouting the circuits. So rerouting it to feed out of that sub panel to make room in that main panel. So we can do it. There's always a will and there's always a way, and we can always get that done for you, but there is more disadvantages to a sub panel than there is for a service upgrade. Just comes down to cost, as with anything. Now the big factor here is, do you even need a sub panel, or do you even need a service upgrade? So if someone comes in and they're adding air conditioning, or maybe you're doing a kitchen renovation and you see that your panel's full, sometimes it's a little deceiving. Some breakers take up more space than other breakers. There's slimline breakers or space saver breakers, tandem breakers, whatever you want to call them. There's different options for different panel brands where we might be able to make space in your original panel while keeping that same panel. Simply meaning, if we have a full-size breaker and there is provision that we can add a tandem breaker, then perfect, we can save that size. But make sure that you hire a professional electrician for this, because if you start swapping out 2 pole breakers for tandem breakers, you're going to have a bad time. You're going to get some bad shared neutral circuits there, and you're going to have bigger issues. You don't want to touch that. So again, hire an electrical contractor, do it right, and I hope this video helped you. At the end of the day, our whole mission is powering customer service. So if you liked the video, like us, subscribe to us, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and if you have any ideas, more importantly, if you have any ideas of what future videos you want to see, get at us. Give us a call even, 780-935-0622. We do new videos all the time, and we love giving back to what this whole cause is all about. So give us a call, 780-935-0622. We are your Edmonton electrician, and yeah, we look forward to working with you. We look forward to giving you power. Have a great day, guys. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.